The French school, et Montdoucet en Normandie. You know, it's a bit like Hindi French. You have to nasalize a little bit. Like the Colorado, for instance. It's the same, Montdoucet. And then you will go later to France. Last year, 8,000 Indian students went to France to study. This year, we do hope that 10,000 will go. So prepare yourself to be the next generation going to France, because we want you. We need you. France needs India, and you're the best possible ambassador of this country. So the better you speak French, the more you speak French, the more story you can start, you can fulfill, the more dreams you could have, you know, because you will be in France, you'll need to go to the bakery, you'll need to go to the movie with your girlfriend or boyfriend or whoever. You will need French. And you will discover that learning, speaking English, absolutely kafi nahi hai. Because you will shape tomorrow's world. And it's a complicated world. It's a very open world with a lot of opportunities. But it might also be a very dangerous world where people are not willing to talk to each other. And people want to put walls, as you can see in the news every morning. And we feel that it's totally stupid to put walls. We spent years trying to not having walls anymore, and now they want to put walls again. So the more language you speak, the more you understand the other, the more you can thrive, you can develop your own skills in partnership with the other. That's the world we hope you will be able to build. And if I'm not completely mistaken, this is actually the purpose of a school that we don't call experimental no more, but excellence. The school for excellence in French. Because you are the best possible teachers in the world. Big clap for them. For Peter and all the team. You were the first school, not you, of course, you didn't know at that time, but they were the first to answer to the French embassy, the Ambassade de France en Inde, as we rightly say, when we decided to develop a very strong partnership with the best possible schools in India, and it was the first to answer. So actually, you know, the first is always the worst, because they are the one who have to cope with everything. And, you know, nobody tested the system before, so we actually developed the partnership, develop the skill, develop the audit, develop everything with you. And for that, we are extremely grateful, and a big dhanyavad, or merci, or nani, or nandri, or whatever language you want to use. Now you have to think about the cooking. Gastronomy is fine, no problem. Masala, or without masala, bini masala, all good, with dude or with dude, whatever you want. Music is absolutely perfect. Architecture might be also very interesting. India will be the only country in the world which will have 300 million people moving to the cities. That's huge, that's a revolution. And India needs a lot of people who can deal with that. Engineers, urban planners, architects, you know, all these very important people who play a very important role. So you're here in a very special place, a very special school, so think about that. And know that France and India are working very closely together on those subjects. There are a lot of smart cities in India, and some of them are completely supported by the French government, and we are now developing a lot of things. We're also developing a lot of things in the field of textile, because textile is a very important industry for India. It's the second biggest employer in the country, a few hundred of millions of people, specifically women. So it's also a way for us to cope with a very important issue, which is the place of women in a modern society. Nobody is perfect, and France has no lesson to teach, but we love to share our experience. And textile is because it's also creativity, it's also design. Of course, you all know Christian Dior and all those little handbags. Of course, go to France and buy those handbags, no problem about that. But you know, you can be in India and also work with that. Or you could think about science, because you always see France as a country of culture, and you absolutely be cool to do it. But France is also a very, very developed scientific country. The best mathematicians in the world are in France. And each time you're opening those little machines, and I suppose you're opening this little machine constantly, you're actually using maths. Because behind those little machines, it's full of maths. And the best mathematicians are in France. So those of you who are interested by engineering, by science, by chemistry, by physics, by technology, by aircrafts, by whatever you want, come to France. Learn French and come to France. And then you'll come back here, and then you'll develop your own company. And I will finish by saying en français cette fois-ci que la France, c'est effectivement la culture. Et la culture en Inde, c'est extrêmement important. C'est extrêmement riche. C'est extrêmement dense. Et entre la France et l'Inde, nous pouvons faire beaucoup plus. Ça va? Ça marche? Ça marche? Nous pouvons faire beaucoup plus avec vous. Donc le jour où vous trouvez que vraiment la conjugaison, la grammaire, le verbe être, auxiliaire, des verbes de mouvement, je suis allé à l'école, mais pourquoi je suis allé à l'école alors que j'ai couru pour prendre le bus? Ne vous inquiétez pas, Gabriel Matt. Vous êtes juste en train d'apprendre quelque chose comme celui qui fait de la course à pied, apprendre à courir, ou celui qui fait du badminton apprend à badmintonner, qui n'est pas un verbe qui existe. Vous avez les meilleurs profs du monde, travaillez avec eux, écoutez-les, et nous sommes avec vous. We are here for you. So you have a team here, extremely dedicated. They always want to go to Bulgaria, so you have to stop them at the office. You know, sometimes you have to be at the office as well. They dream to be here constantly, and I can understand that dream. But you also have another part of the team, which is focusing on higher education, academic partnership, scientific partnership, which is also at your full disposal, because French language is a passport to better knowledge, to better jobs. You have a lot of French companies in India, 99% of them have Indian CEOs. And one day, some of you will finally create something which India doesn't have much yet, but absolutely need. Some of you will design, will create enterprises focusing on cultural engineering, on what we call creative industries, which is now the biggest job creator in the world. So stop dreaming being a lawyer or a banker or a doctor, although of course we all need doctors. We don't need that much of lawyers, at least we hope we don't need them, and unfortunately we need bankers. But think about the fact that with the French language, you could transform yourself, you could transform your life, and you could transform it. Merci beaucoup. Dhanyavad. Happiness.